Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with a Kick. We are here for Matchday 20. Matchday 20, the first full match day of 2025, and we will see who is able to complete their beginning of the year on the right foot. I am not super optimistic about my Wolves' chances, but we'll get to them much later on because they are the last pick of the day. But before we get started with Tottenham and Newcastle, anything you want to anything you want to say before we get rolling here, Keegan?
It's 2025. Some of these teams, it's time to turn the new leaf, specifically teams I support that are located in Manchester, not outside of Manchester. And I think that we're in for actually a very decent fight. We kind of talked about in our last episode, Liverpool, if they can keep it up, I think they're going to run away with the title. But 2 through about even 9th, 2 through 9, there's only really a 10-point gap, which is definitely recoverable. So I think there's a lot of teams that could be fighting for Europe, and relegation also looks pretty like a good fight between 19 all the way up to apparently 14th, according to Man U's manager. So, I mean, we're in for a great 2025 as far as Premier League soccer goes.
I mean, if we're using a 10-point gap as the metric, then 19th to 11th would all be, I mean, Tottenham would be in relegation threat if we're using a 10-point
Tottenham,
metric.
Brentford, and West Ham, their managers aren't coming out saying they're in relegation fights, so I don't know. But you're right, 10 points, in my opinion, 10 points moving up, as far as when you're in the top half of the table, just kind of feels more doable than maybe if you're in relegation. There might be some cognitive dissonance there, but, at least if you're in 9th, you're feeling like we've gotten some results this season.
Yeah, it's proportionality, right? Like 10 points is almost doubling your point total over the course of a season if you're Leicester City are in 14 points so far. So that is certainly, probably shrink it to 7. And that's where we then land, right where you're talking about. Technically it's 8 for Manchester United, but we'll keep them in there since they are putting themselves in that conversation anyway. But yeah, we will go ahead and get started with one of those teams that's within 10 points of relegation. Tottenham hosts Newcastle United here for the first match of Matchday 20. And how do you think this one's going to go? Besides general scoring, because I think we can both agree that there will be goals scored in this one.
Yeah, fireworks in this one, just like on New Year's Eve. Tottenham, I mean, Ainge is on the hot seat. We've been saying it for a few match days now. He is relentless, and he has the resolve to say his system works. His players just need to implement it. I'm not so sure. I think Newcastle take it 3-2. They are a hot team. I don't see it necessarily ending when they're playing a Tottenham team whose defense has been suspect all season.
Well, I am pretty much right there with you. I have it as 3-1 victory for Newcastle. Just not quite as confident in Tottenham being able to get it done, anywhere close to getting it done there, even as the home side. Newcastle is kind of on a roll right now. I think they've won 4 in a row. Yeah, 4 in a row over varying levels of competition. But still, like I said, a 3-0 victory over Aston Villa and then a 2-0 victory at Old Trafford. Those are good results wherever you are. So I think they keep it rolling here over Tottenham, help get themselves possibly up into Champions League contention. It depends on the goal difference. And how Chelsea does. But it's possible, technically. And then to the next one here, which is Aston Villa hosting Leicester City at Villa Park in Birmingham. This one I have Leicester City, not good. They have relegated themselves to that, and I believe will end up getting relegated. 2-0 is how I have it. I'm just really trying to get some Emi Martinez clean sheets here. Just really I think we can already hang up that preseason prediction that he's going to get the most clean sheets on the season, but I don't want to be totally embarrassed by another one of our preseason picks, okay?
Nah, he'll go 19 for 19. I'm not confident in it. I think I'm going to go 2-1. I think Aston Villa do win at home versus the inferior Leicester, but I think that they give up a goal because their defense has been the exact opposite of what it was last year. So I'm going to continue that into this match day.
Yeah, and we kind of called that. We did call out in the beginning is that they were trading defense for offensive production. It just has not worked out in their favor very much this season so far. And now we go to Bournemouth versus Everton, also at 10 a.m. on Saturday at Vitality Stadium. How do you think those Evertonians can get any sort of result here?
I think they do. I think it's 2-2. I think Bournemouth went on a nice streak there for a little bit. They haven't been losing recently, but I don't think that they're as consistent enough to continue to get these wins. If there is a time they're going to win, it's probably right now versus Everton.
Yeah.
But I think Everton's also in pretty decent form other than their last loss. They were picking up. They had a win, 3 draws, a loss. I think they come back and they get a draw versus Bournemouth.
I couldn't disagree more. Well, I could. No, I can't. Can I? I don't know. When you pick a draw, it's hard to disagree more. But I have it going as a 2-0 victory for Bournemouth. I think that they are, they have shown themselves to be a better team than Everton this year, obviously, just looking at the placement on the table. But they've, I just don't believe in Everton. I just don't believe in Everton. I think I may have chosen them to get relegated as well. I'm not going to look for my predictions here. I've got them somewhere on this desk. Oh, hey, there they are. Look at that.
Death, taxes, and looking for predictions.
Yes, I had them going 19th. So I had them going 19th. And guess who I had going 20th? Bournemouth. So that's a bit of pick your poison there.
You need both of them to lose this week. Boy.
Yeah, that's how it could be. That's how I couldn't disagree more, is if I had both of them losing. But, wow, I did not realize that Bournemouth is my Nottingham in context with your picks. Jeez Louise. That's tough. That is tough.
I had Southampton going last because I knew they weren't going to be very good.
Didn't
know this good, but, boy, or this bad. But, anyways.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We've got time for the season to right itself, but I don't know that Nottingham Forest is going to drop down to 19th, and I don't think Bournemouth's going to drop down to 20th. I think that's basically impossible. Not literally impossible, because mathematically it's not literally impossible, but it's basically impossible. Then we'll move over to Crystal Palace hosting Chelsea. Once again, another London derby. I should have looked up which one this is before. It's probably the north, south, east, west London derby. I think that's what this one is.
Probably the exact phrase, yeah.
That's probably the exact phrase there. This one, I think Chelsea needs to bounce back, and I think that they are going to bounce back here against Crystal. I have them going 4-1 a victory at Crystal Palace, just because they have been underperforming in the last couple weeks. Obviously, dropping. What'd you say? It was 7 points out of 9 in the last 3 matches against teams that the Fulham one, you can kind of accept a loss there, even though it was at home. But Everton and Ipswichtown, that should be all 3 all day.
Yeah. I think Chelsea, they bounce back in this one. Crystal Palace historically has not been a team that Chelsea has lost to. So they drew in the reverse fixture. I think Chelsea's going to get it back on track a little bit and win 2-1.
2-1. Let me write that the right direction. You said 1-2. All right. And then to one that I think will be pretty easy here. Manchester City at home at the Etihad hosting West Ham United. Do they continue their momentum that they've built up over this one whole match day?
I sure hope so. I mean, West Ham just got waxed 5-0.
Yeah.
West Ham, again, they've been like semi-decent. But City have won 14 of their last 15 Premier League home games against West Ham. And they've won the last 8 in a row. So
it's pretty
I think
indicative.
That continues 3-1 over West Ham.
See, now I've got faith in City. I have them going 4-0. I'm trusting them to even keep a clean sheet. Yeah. Yeah, bold pick here.
You are a better man than I.
But, well, not according to the math. Not according to the math at all. And then we'll take a step over here. Listen, I got to stop going out on this branch. But I've got Southampton winning here 2-0 over Brentford. I got to stop doing it.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Look, Southampton historically bad so far. I don't think that gets any better. I think they lose 4-1.
Wow. That's
so
tough.
Yeah, I don't think it gets better. I think Brentford will see this as a back on track game.
Yeah.
And they need it to stay competitive. So yeah, I just don't. Southampton 1 win and 6 points in 19 games. It's so bad.
Yeah, the units I have here are really disrespectful for Brentford. They're only favored by 0.19 units.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw this with Sheffield too, like Sheffield would go up against 13th place whoever, and it would be like the odds were almost even.
Yeah, it's just because they're at home. Like, we'll see one here later on that I think is totally out of whack.
And then Sheffield would go and lose 3-0.
Yeah.
And you're like, boy, that was the easiest.
I should have just taken the money and run, right? I did that in this one, and no, I didn't. I took Southampton. I did it in the one that I'm thinking about here in a moment. This next one is actually Brighton hosting at the Amex. Arsenal, a revivified Arsenal who just played quite well. How do you have this one going?
This will be my shock pick of the Matchday 20. I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton. I feel like they're due for a victory. And Arsenal, they didn't look great versus Brentford, especially most of the first half. Gabriel Jesus got a goal to get him back into it. But, they didn't look amazing, and I think they dropped points here. I think it's 2-1.
2-1. All right. Well, that would be a good result for you. Oops, I'm putting something wrong here. We'll figure that out in a minute. That's what's going on. Then we go to Fulham and Ipswichtown, and which I have Fulham getting back in the win column here after a turbulent last couple match days. Certainly not going their way in total, especially against teams of similar skill level here. But I do have them winning 1-0 at home against Ipswich Town.
Same goal difference. I have it 2-1. I think a little bit more goals happen in this game, but I think you're right. I think Fulham, Ipswich, probably going to be riding on the high of beating Chelsea, and they're going to be humbled a little bit by losing to Fulham at Craven Cottage, but I think it'll be a good match.
All right, and then to the all-important Liverpool versus Manchester United. Now, I've got a little bit of a bold pick here, but I'll go let you start it off.
My bold pick is 4-1 Liverpool.
Wow.
I think Man U is in disarray. They don't know what formations they're in sometimes, so I think Liverpool's going to pick them apart, win 4-1.
Wow. Well, my little bit of a bold pick is a 1-1 draw. I'm not going to go all the way. I'm not going to be totally crazy and pick Manchester United to win. But I'm just trying to get this race back going, trying to get the top of the table to be a little bit more compressed, have Liverpool drop some points. Maybe Chelsea can start winning again, get them back up towards second. Arsenal, we'll see how you guys do. I think you'll do fine. You do not think so. And then we end up at my Wolves, at the Molineux in Wolverhampton versus Nottingham Forest. This is the one that I was talking about, that Nottingham Forest, a team in second, is somehow only favored by is barely even favored in this match. That's crazy. My Wolves are not that good. I'm picking Nottingham Forest to win 4-0. It's like I don't think it's even close.
4-0, that is... I have it 2-1. I think it'll be close. I think I saw where Cunha may be out.
Yeah, well, then I'm even more justified. We lost to Everton 4-0 last month. I'm not worried about us losing 4-0. It's not a crazy thing to do. And Nottingham Forest is actually good. So, we've had our good run. We got some points under our belt. We're moving into the part of the season that we were talking about just being terrible for my Wolves. We got to wait till April again to start getting some teams that we can that we should be beating. So we've made our way out of the relegation zone. We just got to hope everyone else still is as bad as we are. And we'll have to see about that. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here for Matchday 20?
I was looking ahead, as we do in the beginning of 2025. And there's about 4 weeks from match day 26 to 30 and match day 33 to 37. Sorry, 34, 37, where Liverpool, that's going to be where they drop points.
Yeah.
Match day 26, they play Man City at the Etihad. Right before that, they play Wolves, which, again, Wolves versus the big teams, they're always putting up a fight somehow. Then they're playing Newcastle, match day 27. Southampton, 28, not really. 29, Aston Villa. Then you get to the real, if it gets any tighter, I think this could be where Liverpool loses it. Match day 33, they play at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
Match day 33, they play Leicester. Match day 34 at Tottenham Hotspur. Sorry, they play Tottenham. 35, I'm getting all my teams mixed up. Anyway, they play at Chelsea, match day 35. Yes. Match day 36, they play Arsenal. Play at Brighton, match day 37. So the 34 to 37 range, even if it's within 6 points, like there's still a chance because Arsenal and Chelsea will be right there. So it's that slow compound of maybe every month we take off 2 points.
Yeah.
February, you take off 1, March 2. Then April and May, anything can happen. So the league is not over yet. Liverpool are dominating, but like we've seen with Man City, you can be the top team in the league, looking like you won't lose. Then you can go on a 10-game skid, and it feels like you came out of nowhere. So Liverpool have a tough schedule ahead. I think they'll drop quite a few points in that spread. We'll just see if the other teams behind them can put together some winning runs to catch up to them.
Yeah, there's also the health factor. One key injury, and it messes up your whole flow. Like if Salah picks up a ding somewhere, especially going into that portion of the schedule, it could be fireworks by the end of the season.
Yeah, without Salah's goal involvements, 30 goal involvements in 45 goals. So he's accumulating 66% of their entire offense. So he goes out, you're right, that could change the complexion of the entire title race.
Yeah. But that is certainly wish casting at this point. We'll see if any of it comes anywhere close to true here, especially with match day 20 coming up this weekend. And until we get to the recap episode next week, why don't you go ahead and grab your coffee, watch some soccer, and we'll see you on the other side. At Sisvik Inc.